Hello, everybody. What's going on? Let me know if you all can hear me. Hey. How are you all doing? Let me know if you all can hear me. All right. We are live a few places, but we are primarily live on YouTube because when I sent out the text message to our text message community, we sent out a message saying, hey, come and join us on YouTube. But you may also be listening to us on my private personal Facebook page on Facebook. You may be listening to me on my Facebook business page. I want to say those are all the places we're currently live. I'm trying to see. Oh, and we're live on LinkedIn. So you may be also be listening in on LinkedIn. How are y'all doing? What's up? So I don't know if you all been paying attention, but I recently shared that I will be going live. Well, this is my goal. My goal is to post a video or go live every single Wednesday. The reason I'm saying post a video or go live, it depends on what those Wednesdays are, what's going on that Wednesday. So today is one of those days where I could actually come live. So, hey, y'all, what's going on? So, yes, I'm seeing some comments here. I want to make sure everything is set up. Is everything good on Facebook? Not Facebook, babe, but YouTube? Let me know. Because I already seen that it's good on Facebook. All right. Cool. All right. Now, let me ask y'all something else. Have you all been listening to the audio newsletter? Let me know. We put a lot of time and energy into those audio newsletters. So let me know if you all listen to the audio newsletter that we do weekly. All right. We drop them out every single Monday. All right. So I'm about to introduce myself and then we're going to get into today's topic. If you all have any questions, make sure you use the comment box to put your questions in there. All right. But y'all, I've been vibing. Okay. I've been vibing. Okay. But let me introduce myself and then we're going to get into today's topic. So my name is Audria Richmond. I'm a marketing and launch strategist. I work directly with my clients to teach them how to build uncloned brands and launch profitable marketing campaigns. We are the brand that you come to when you want to become or remain the obvious choice of your industry. So welcome, everyone. I want to welcome you to today's live stream, right? Today, I want to talk about raising your standards. Okay. I know, when we think about standards, right? There's so many. I was looking up the definition of standards and I was like, I don't really like the definition of standards. But I was like, let me just keep looking up a definition and looking up a definition. And I really couldn't find a really good definition of standards. But the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I am experiencing a change personally in my career, in my expectations, like what I'm looking for as I'm navigating in business. And I am a different woman today in 2024 than I was in 2014 when I first got started, right? Like started online. So when I first started my business online in 2013, I was like, I don't know what the hell is this online marketing thing. And 2014 is really the year where I got my first client online, where I was able to establish a name for myself. I started being in different communities and people would know me and like all of those things, right? So let me bookmark a card real quick. Let me bookmark a section real quick, all right? Because I'm going to be referencing a book, right? I see some people here. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me. Just if you hear, just put a yes in the chat. All right. I want to make sure everybody is here. If you hear and you can hear me, put yes in the chat. Also, share this live stream out. Everyone that's watching this video is in a public place where you can actually share this live stream. So if you're watching it on my on Facebook, or if you're watching it on YouTube, you are in a place where you can actually share. So feel free to actually share. All right. So I'm in a different place in my life in 2024 than I was in 2014. And how many of you all know that, like, as you evolve, your standards change, right? As you evolve, your standards change. So, like, I know you're thinking, like, what are you talking about? Your standards change. When I first came online, my standards were, I just want a client. If I could just sell what I'm selling, I would be happy, right? If I could just get seen by people online, I would be happy. If I could get people to comment on my post, I would be happy. And this is going to probably be a little bit more advanced topic today. So I do want to reference that the where I'm pulling this conversation from is probably at a more advanced place, but I do believe that this can apply to anyone who's listening, right? So, like, when I first came online, that's what I wanted. I wanted to get my first client. I wanted to build a name for myself. I wanted people to remember me. I don't think I sought after to get people to interview me and stuff, because people were just out the gate started interviewing me. So that was never something that I had to strive to. But eventually you start going from, like, I want a client to I want this type of client. I want to get paid this amount of money to I want to get paid this amount of money. If this is making sense, just put yes in the chat. All right? Because I'm about to go to a place where I know a lot of people are feeling it, but probably not going to express it. You're feeling it, but you're probably not going to share and talk about it. You're feeling it, but you don't know if you should have this conversation and be a part of this conversation. And you're probably been you've probably been secretly experiencing this, but you probably don't have a lot of people you can talk to that can relate to what it is that you have going on, right? And so there comes a time in your career where you want to be respected on a certain level. You want to stop going into certain rooms and be asked to go in bigger rooms. There comes a time in your career where you want to get paid, instead of getting paid maybe $1,000 for your service, you now want to get paid $10,000 for your service. It's going to come a time in your life where you like, I was cool with working with these types of people when I first get started, but I really need to elevate my brand to, like, this level and attract these types of people. And, like, all of that comes with evolution and experience. That's why I said this conversation today may be a little bit more advanced, because if you don't have a lot of experience, if you haven't been in business for quite some time, you getting your first client for the first time is still a significant win. So my positioning for today's topic is really about evolution and elevation. So when you're ready to elevate, when you're ready to go to another level, that's what this conversation is for. So if you are in a place in your career right now where you want to go to another level, put a 2 in the chat. I want to make sure I know who I'm talking to right now. Like, if you're like, I'm cool where I'm at, put a 1. Let me see what we can get in the chat. If you like, hey, I'm here for the evolution, the elevation. I want to be on another level. Like, boom, 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 put a 2. But if you like, I'm actually cool where I am. I don't have any qualms. I love the level I'm on. You can put a 1. All right. So we got some 2s. Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure I'm talking to the right people. All right. Cool. All right. So with that being said, now that I'm clear about who's here, I want to talk about when you are trying to get to another level, it's really about who you are becoming, right? It's really about who you need to become. Because when you're on a lower level, right, and you are cool with basic standards, you typically don't want to rock the table. You get what I'm saying? Like, if it's like you don't want to come off as that person as being ungrateful. Like, When you start to want more, you're gonna start to get judged. Let me talk about this like in a personal way. So for an example, how many of you all have like ever got a better car than somebody else, and they like kind of judge you for getting a better car because you wasn't cool with the raggedy cars? Put me in the chat, right? Or if you've ever decided that you wanted to fly first class, but everybody else wanted to fly coach, put a me in the chat if you know what I mean. Have you ever wanted to buy a VIP ticket to an event, but the people around you were cool with general admission? Put me in the chat. Why am I saying this? Whenever you start experiencing these things, there's a few things that's going to happen. You're going to start feeling like, man, I don't know if I should I don't want to be an outcast. So I know everybody is cool with coach, but I actually want to go first class. I know everybody is cool with the used cars, but I want a new car. I know everybody is cool with living like this, but I want this kind of house. And so you start to feel kind of guilty about wanting more because the people around you standards are the same. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Is this starting to make sense what I'm saying right now? Because when you are at a place where you want more in life, you're going to see the first shift in your life with the people you are affiliated with, right? The people that's in your circle, the people that's affiliated with you, they're going to start side-eyeing you. If you went from if you used to be the person that was like, I'm going to find my answer on YouTube to being the person that I'm going to hire a coach so I can accelerate this thing, and you're in a group of people who have never invested, they're going to think you crazy, right? Like, why are you paying some stranger on the internet to teach you how to do something, right? You start to become the oddbot. And so there's a shift that will happen in your head where you begin to ask yourself, well, am I cool with that? Like, am I cool with being an outcast? Because if you get to a place where you're not cool with being the oddbot in your circle, two things are going to happen. Number one, you're going to shrink, or you're going to break through. Let me know in the chat which one you all want to do. Do you want to break through, or do you want to shrink and stick to what's going on? Because that's really what happens. And so if you break through, okay, if you break through, where you going? If you break through, guess what has to happen? You're going to have to get a new circle of friends, a new circle of people. That doesn't mean that you have to disown the people you already know, but it just means you can't even see on the same level no more. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't even see on the same level. Like, and I'm going to tell you, when it turns into like one thing, right? Like, for instance, I bought my truck cash, right? It's like, oh my God, why would you buy a car cash? You're supposed to rent, you're supposed to this, right? Or like, why would you buy this? It's like you start to get people to kind of nitpick your up leveling. And then you get to a point where you start up leveling so much that it's too much for the average Joe. It's just too much for them. Why you doing this, and why you can't do that, and this, that, and the third. And if you are not careful, you will feel like raising your standards is a bad thing, and it's not. It's not. I want to read a chapter to you all from this book called Empowering Yourself, okay? It's a book by Harvey J. Coleman, okay? Hopefully y'all can see that. It's a book by Harvey J. Coleman. He wrote a book called Empowering Yourself, The Organizational Game Revealed, okay? I really wish this was titled something else so people could buy it more, but it's so many gems in this book, I cannot even explain. This book is actually very equivalent, in my opinion, to Outwitting the Devil, in my opinion, okay? And so I want to read a section from this book, and I'm going to read it very briefly, okay? Because I think it's important. And this section this part of the book resonated with me like so much. So I'm on page 78 in the book. It's called You Can't Go Home Again. Okay? Oh my God. Hopefully I want y'all to kind of lean in, all right? Lean in. And also, are y'all enjoying yourself? Put a 2 in the chat if you are enjoying yourself. Also, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you share this live stream out so we can get as many people as possible to join us today and be here while we're here doing our thing. Okay, cool beans. So I'm going to read this. So one of the biggest obstacles in choosing to change levels is the realization that you must leave some people behind. He already said it. Weren't we just talking about this? You're going to have to leave some people behind. Okay? This does not mean that you break all contact with old friends and acquaintances, but it usually means that those relationships will change forever. Okay? It means that those relationships will change forever. So let me finish reading it, right? He said, if you doubt that you hold up, let me slow my brain down. If you doubt that you do leave people behind, go back to your old neighborhood where your best friend from high school still lives. The first night of your visit will be filled with joyous fellowship as you all relive all the great events and escapades of the good old days. That evening, you will feel like nothing has changed and that your relationship with your friend is stronger than ever before. The second evening, upon meeting your friend, you might find more silent moments because most of the common experiences have been covered. Okay. let me hold up. Before I finish, right? Let me look. Before I finish, I want to make sure y'all understood what I've said so far. The first part he said was, when you want to go to the next level, you have to be cool with leaving some people behind. That's the first thing he said. Okay? Not because you want to, but because people can't relate anymore. It's about relatability. Does everybody get that? If you get that, put a 3 in the chat. Okay? If you get what I'm saying. The first part he talked about is he wanted to demonstrate this point. He said, go back home where you live. And it's not even about like going back home. Maybe you still live in the city where you've elevated from. But if you go back home, or if you try to go back and facilitate a conversation with somebody else, he said the first night you all will go back and reminisce about the good old days. He said the first night. The second night you will realize, right? He said the second night you will realize that it's more silent moments because you already covered the max of the conversation that you all can have. Is that making sense, everybody? Okay. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure y'all following along with me. All right. So he said the second evening upon meeting your friend, you might find more silent moments simply because most of the common experiences have been covered. As you begin to explain some of your current work and lifestyle experiences, your friend becomes quiet and introspective. Let me repeat that. You make, this is so damn good. I love this book. Okay. He said, as you begin to explain some of your current work and lifestyle experiences, your friend becomes quiet and introspective, okay? You may conclude that the lack of participation by your friends means boredom and resentment because you are bragging about all of your accomplishments. Of course, you weren't bragging, just merely talking about the normal challenges in your current life. You listen again to what is going on in the old neighborhood, but nothing much has changed, okay? Nothing much has changed. If you had scheduled an appointment to meet your friend on the third day of your visit, it is quite likely you might find some reason to cancel. So before I read this next statement, I want to make sure the next part of the book, I want to make sure y'all understand where we are right now. He said the biggest obstacles in choosing to change the level of is the realization that you're going to have to leave some people behind and that those relationships will change forever. Remember earlier when I said you're either going to break through or shrink? That's what I was talking about. Whenever you start to elevate in life or your standards start to change or things that you no longer, you're not cool with, you want to elevate, one of the things you will start to notice is that those relationships will change. Then he illustrates this story by talking about how you could go back home, you could talk to an old friend, and you will have a lot in common on day one. If you meet with that friend on day two, it's like, okay, silent moments. They're looking at you crazy because you're talking about some stuff that is abnormal to them. because they standards are not the same. And then he said on the third day, he said you probably would be more inclined to cancel because you know for a fact y'all not gonna have anything in common. But this is the bar. This is the part I highlighted in my book that I want to read. Okay, he said this is not because you don't like your old friend. It's because you no longer have very much in common. You have learned a new language and a new culture that your old friend does not understand, nor to which he can relate. Did y'all get that? Okay. And he said, what happened with your old friend has nothing more than the application of another rule. You can't go home again. You can't go home again. You can visit. You can go home to help. You can go home to express your continued love, but you can't stay. Your value system has changed. So if you all are experiencing any type of friction from your current level to wanting to go to another level, it is because your language has changed. You're trying to talk to people who cannot relate. When y'all talk, it's like two people speaking two different languages, and it's because you're on two different wavelengths. Your values are different. Their values are different. And it shows through communication and interaction with each other. If y'all ain't shouting and running around your room right now, I don't know what to tell you. You ain't get the point. You might have to catch the replay. But if you got what I'm putting down, put a 5 in the chat. Okay? The book that I'm referencing here is called Empowering Yourself by Harvey J. Coleman. Okay? That's the book. Empowering Yourself by Harvey J. Coleman. Y'all got it? Okay, cool. Because I just want y'all to know that, like, when you're wanting to go to a whole nother level, you're going to experience some discomfort. Okay? You're going to experience some discomfort. And so I need you to know that's normal. And I need you to know there's nothing wrong with you. Okay? So let me see if I can pull up this this illustration that he has in the book. Can y'all see that? I really do hope y'all can see that. Can y'all see that little chart where it say level 4 values, unlimited work hours, college degree, and then you see glass ceiling? Then he got level 3 values, 40-hour work week, high school degree. Can y'all see that? Okay? I really do hope y'all can see that. Y'all gonna have to probably go back and catch a replay and look at the book. But what he's showing is, this is on page, I'm sorry, y'all. That's probably my microphone. Hold on. Okay. He said, this is on page 80. So if you get the book, it's on page 80. But read the whole book, y'all. The whole book is good. Like, the entire book is fire. Okay? This book is life-changing because it helped me understand why I couldn't relate to certain people anymore, and why I felt bad about, growing and surpassing and all of those things. And so this book really helped drive the point home. Okay? All right, cool. Dang, we got the 80 people. I don't know where y'all came from, but what's up? Thank y'all for diving in. All right. So that's what I mean by it's all about, like, who you need to become. Because when you decide to raise your standards, that means you're shedding old standards. You're shedding old values. You're getting to a place where you want more, you desire more, you demand more, because you have actively participated in up-leveling your life, right? And so when you do that, it's one of those things where you have to be cool with shedding. And if you are one of those people who shrink, like we talked about earlier, you can miss out on your blessings. You can miss out on the level up for yourself, right? And so I have some questions that I want you all to think about, right? So these are some things I want y'all to think about. I want to talk about when you know it's time to raise your standards, right? Like, when is it time to raise your standards? Like, how do you know when it's time to raise your standards? It's time to raise your standards when you're no longer comfortable with your current situation. It's time to raise your standards when you're no longer happy with how people around you treat you. Because sometimes, oh, this is good. I want y'all to hear me. When you have outgrown a certain version of yourself, the current version, the new version that's trying to break through, your current version is going to be uncomfortable. Let me say that again. When you're trying to surpass, right? When you're trying to elevate to a whole nother level, okay? But you're still not honoring your next level, you will get hella uncomfortable. If that makes sense, just put yes in the chat. Okay? If that makes sense, just put yes in the chat. Because I'm currently was in that place. I got to a place in my business where I was still operating like the girl from 2014. Does that make sense? I was still operating like that girl. I was still happy about things that's like normal now. It's like and it's not ungratefulness, right? And I had to pay attention to that. And I was like, there were some things that was happening, and I was asking myself, like, why are you a little sad? Like, what's going on? Like, why do you feel like this? Like, what's going on? And the only thing that I could chalk it up to was I am living below my standards. I am accepting things below my standards. If I want to elevate my standards, if I want more in life, if I want more, if I want a better way of living and better way of operating, how would I move? How would I operate? What things would I change? And so I said, okay, Audria, if I am at a place where I know I am living below my standards, if I am at a place where I'm hella uncomfortable for accepting below my standards, I'm still tolerating basic things from people, who do I need to become? What do I need to change? What do I need to do? Okay? And so for me, I was just like, you know what? I am going to make some changes to all of my programs. I don't know if you all have noticed this, but you can join the Launch Circle. Okay? It used to be you could go straight to the unclonedlaunchcircle.com and you could just join, sign up and all of that. And, you will notice that I don't talk about my mastermind, about like how to get into the mastermind, how to join the mastermind, none of that, right? Because I've sat down and I said, you know what? I need to reevaluate how we are attracting clients, right? I need to reevaluate all of our marketing. I need to reevaluate all of our assets. I need to reevaluate what was the disconnect. And I'll tell you, okay? Number one, I have these high level programs, right? These high level programs, because I feel like the Launch Circle is really like a little mini mastermind. And I started to ask myself, like, why are you charging so little for this? I would log into the portal when I would be talking to my friends and stuff like that. And they'd be like, what? You charge what for this? Like, girl, like, have you ever had somebody check you on you operating below your standards? Have somebody ever checked you? I know it ain't just me. Right? Have somebody ever checked you on living below your standards, operating below your standards, not rising to the level at which you are, right? And so I was like, I'm trying to help everybody and this, that, and the third. And how many of y'all have had that come to Jesus moment, right? I was like, nah, I'm changing the price. I ain't telling nobody. I mean, I told y'all now, but I had made a mental decision that if you're going to work with me, you're going to have to demonstrate that you're ready. And not just ready because you can pay, but ready because your ass is showing up. I said, no. I'm done. I'm done operating below my standard. I show my ass off. I went to China and I spent... give me 1 second. I went to China And I spent over $150,000 on planners for my programs and community. And the reason I'm saying programs and community, because to be honest, I could have gave y'all a PDF, just being 100. But I was like, no, Black people deserve a luxury experience. Black people deserve full color products and services. Black people, they deserve this up level, this luxury, right? And so whenever I would attract people who are like, no, it's okay. I don't really want to, write in the planner. If you're not writing in the planner, I mean, you're not using it. And I'm cool with if you're trying to preserve the pages and things like that. But like, for you to be like, oh, I don't want to write in it because it's too pretty, or I don't want to write in it because it's too cute, that means you're not actively using it the way I designed it. Right? And I know I'm probably stepping on a few people's toes right now. I get it. But when you operate from a place of lack, meaning you act like you can't get another planner. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at my husband's planner or like my planner or whatnot, and I was thinking to myself, like, we write in our planners, like, why people aren't writing in the planner? Like, I get that it's cute and it's pretty and all of the things, but like, why are you not writing in it? Because when you're writing something, you're giving it life. So why would you not give it life? Like, why would you not give it the energy and give it what it actually needs, right? And I'm just of this mindset of like, what am I saying? What like, what's going on? Like, what's going on? And I'm obviously using something very simple as writing in the planner, but like, I want to make sure that I'm crystal clear across all my platforms, across everyone that I talk to, that I am hella passionate about you changing your life. I'm hella passionate about you making money, but I'm not finna let my passion be hijacked because people are not showing up for themselves. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Like, when you're not showing up for yourself, when you're not asking questions, when you're not, because this is another thing, and this is the reason why I'm speaking on this. I see a lot of people complain about coaching programs that they've joined and things that they've invested in. Like, oh, I've joined this program and none of the coaches never show up. Oh, I'm a part of this thing and the coach didn't show up for me. And whenever somebody leave, like, I've had people leave the launch circle. I kid y'all not. I've had people leave the launch circle, give it a 3-star or a 4-star review and say, it's overwhelming. It's too much. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't even remember this member. I don't even remember this member. You know why? Because I checked this member's profile. They've never logged in. They logged in. Yeah, they logged in to cancel. They've never shown up in the Facebook group. They never asked questions. So, okay. You're giving my assets, the shit that I put my heart, soul, and energy into, you're going to give me a low rating, our assets a low rating because you didn't show up? Oh, no. It's time for me to reevaluate, who are we attracting? And what have I done in my marketing that has conveyed, come play with me? Okay? Because one thing for sure is that there's a lot of people on the internet that don't give a damn about their clients. They don't care if you pay. They don't care if you show up. They don't care if you win. They don't care if your life is changed. All they care about is if the check clears. And there's not one single soul that's attached to me that can tell you that I didn't answer their messages, that I didn't respond back to them, that I didn't show up, that I treated them less than. It doesn't matter if you buy my book or you're in my mastermind. There's not one single soul that can say that. And if you're not getting served, the last thing I would appreciate that a lot of people can stop doing, stop jumping on the bandwagon on social media, talking about how trash your coach is without giving accountability for the lack of you showing up. Does that make sense? Because people are quick to blame, but they're not quick to take accountability. And that's so gross to me. That's so gross to me. So I said, okay, I'm closing down the lunch circle from people just joining automatically. We're going to start having events online, virtually, where we serve at a high level, and you're going to have to qualify to be invited into our offerings. It's not for everybody. I'm not for everybody. How I serve is not for everybody. And if I see myself at a place where I want to work with the people who show up for themselves, I have to change how we operate. I got to change how we bring people into our world, right? So what did I do? I went and did a photo shoot, because I got to face my insecurities too. I can't be asking my clients to face their insecurities, and I'm dealing with an insecurity. So guess what I did? I bust through that thing and went to go do a photo shoot. Yeah, I may not be my ideal weight, but I'm going to go take these damn photos. What else did I do? I said, you know what? We're about to change up all of our front end offers, and we need to work with an agency, and we need somebody who's going to be professional, where we can churn out things. We hired an agency. We paid them for 6 months in advance. Boom. Second thing I bust through, right? We finna get it done. And then the last thing I had to do, which took me the longest, was reimagining who do I want to work with, reimagining my messaging, reimagining who is that person. Who is that? Because trust me, I've been praying to God like I've been having God on speed dial, okay? I've been praying to God like, hey, God, who am I here to serve? Quit sending me people who playing with they dreams. Quit sending me people who ain't serious. Quit sending me people who's playing. Who's playing? I don't want them people no more. I used to be like this super advocate for the little guy and the little dog and the little person and the underdog. No more. I need your energy to match my energy. If you ain't going to show up for yourself, I ain't showing up for you. If you're not going to ask questions, I'm not finna recruit you to ask a question. If you're not going to get what you need, I ain't finna give it to you. I am done with that. I feel like the last 10 years of my life, the last 10 years of my career, that's all I've been doing. Is dragging folks. Please log into the portal. Please watch the videos. Please write in your planner. Please launch. Please create your offer. Please write the book. I am exhausted. For real, for real. And I said, you know what? I'm not finna be the victim in my own business, right? I don't want this guilt, God. I don't want this feeling, God. So when I was praying about this, I really could hear God telling me, and there were so many things that was popping up, videos, articles, affirmation cards, all type of things about standards, raising your standards and seeing yourself for how magnificent you are. And when I started to really see this thing, I said, I got to raise my standards. I've been operating like the girl who just came online in 2013, 2014. I am not that girl. In 2024, I am a totally different woman. I have written 4 books. I have published 6 planners. I have amazing flagship programs, from the Launch Circle to the Mastermind to the certification program to Publishing Like a Pro. I am dope as hell. Why am I accepting this from people that's around me? So I'm going to raise the bar. I'm going to raise the expectation. And I'm going to be crystal clear in my marketing around who I want to work with, who I want to serve, and who I want to quit playing with me. Because for some of y'all probably doing this for sport. This is probably your side hustle. You probably don't really care if this thing is successful. You probably don't really care if this thing work out. You ain't my people. I have made it my business to tell God, hey, I want to work with the people who are the history makers. I want to work with the leaders of the next generation. I want to work with people who get up night and day and they take this thing seriously. I don't want to deal with the dabblers. Get those folks from around me. I want to be with the people that are all in. And so that's what it looks like for me on my side of the equation of raising my standards, because I'm just at a place I'm telling you, when this thing starts to rise in you, this next level, it becomes disruptive if you don't honor it. And I've been so caught up trying to help people and help people and help people to the point where I'm always extra stressed. So I said, you know what? I'm going to channel that energy by changing up my process. I'm going to channel that energy by working on myself. I'm going to channel that energy by praying and asking God directly what I want. I'm going to change up that energy by the content I create. I'm going to change up that energy by the conversation that I have. I'm going to change up that energy by focusing on the people who show up and spending little to no attention for the people who don't. And so I said all that to say that when it's time for you to raise your standards, when it's time for you to rise above to your next level, your current level will become so uncomfortable that you have no choice but to honor it. And I'm not shrinking. I'm breaking through. And whoever at the sound of my voice can hear me, if you can truly hear me, I've been working on myself. I've been doing my spiritual practice. I've been doing my prayers. I've been writing down in my journal. I'm not going to be that girl that drag and beg you. You're going to see a version of me that's going to be so elevated and so beautiful, and I'm ready to accept her. And so I'm saying that because for some of you all, you may need to change or raise a standard. You may need to change or have a different expectation. You may need to stop accepting something that's below your level and rise to the level that you deserve and that you desire. Okay? I really, 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 really hope and pray that you all found value in today's live stream and that you allow yourself to elevate to the highest version of yourself. So if you all have any questions, let me know. I'll stick around for a few questions. And if you all don't have any questions, we will end the live stream. I do want to appreciate you all for sharing if you shared it. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for coming out. If you're watching it on Facebook, thank you for coming out. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you all for being here because you don't have to be here. And so if you have any questions, let me know in the chat and then we'll go from there. So I know it may be a slight delay and then we'll go from there. All right. Okay. Let's see. And I don't have anything to sell you or invite you into right now. You know what I have, right? If you hear, it's because you connected to me in some way. You either like my Facebook page or you're in, you're a friend on my Facebook personal page, or you are a subscriber on my YouTube channel, or you've came here by way of a text message. You are not here on happenstance, right? You're connected to me. That means you know what I offer. You get my emails. If you're serious about rising to the highest version of yourself and you want to be supported, tap in. You know where to find me. Okay. All right. This was a whole therapy session. I mean, hey, never know what you're going to get. All right. What did you do to go from being uncomfortable to going to your next level? That's a good question. I believe it's all about accepting you definitely don't want to jump into your next level when you're not ready, but you will know when it's time. And I think that you have to have the courage and the confidence to believe that where you're elevating is cool. Not feeling some kind of way about it or not feeling bad, and definitely don't apologize, but just elevate in a place where you know that okay, I know that it's time for me to elevate. I'm just going to step into that and I'm going to own that. Okay. I want to work with you, but I'm not sure I'm ready. So send me a message on Instagram. Just send me a DM on Instagram. Hey, I was on a live stream. I want to, this is what I need help with. Send me, okay, let me tell you, and this is for anybody, all right? if you all want to work with me and you don't really know if you're ready, and I'll tell you if you're ready. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I don't take people's money if I don't feel like they're ready, right? If you want to know if you're ready to work with me, send me a DM on Instagram with your top 3 things you want help with in your business. Okay? Okay? Send me a message on Instagram at Audria Richmond with the 3 things you need help with in your business. And I will tell you if I'm a good fit for you. And if not, I will give you a recommendation. Okay? All right. The next question. I am afraid of losing my clients and can't afford to live. I'm afraid of losing my clientele and can't afford to live. What, can you break that down for me, Brandy? What do you mean? I want to make sure I understood it. I'm afraid of losing my clientele and can't afford to. Are you saying you're afraid of losing your current clientele? You're afraid to lose them? Clarify the question for me so I can make sure I understand and answer your question correctly. In one of your books, you mentioned being shy and then finding your voice. How did you find your voice? By doing this, getting out of my comfort zone. If I go back and find like an old video from like my Periscope days, even though I was good, I think I was pretty good during my Periscope days, but me and my stylist were talking about how we show up, right? And one of the things we was talking about was, I was like, girl, that was a time where I would just get out the bed and go live. Like, I didn't care what my hair looked like. I didn't care if I was in a robe. Like, I didn't care about none of that stuff, right? Now, if you catch me on Instagram sometimes, I might do a live in my robe, but I don't never save it. But but for the most part, I started changing up how I see myself. So for an example, I would change up like, okay, I can't go live with my hair looking like that. Okay, let me make an effort. Let me put forth an effort to like put on some lipstick. You know, like today, I was in a t-shirt, but I was like, no, let me go put on a blouse. And so being intentional about, one, you have to show up in a way where you expect that. Does that make sense? Like if I want elevated clients, I have to make sure I'm elevated. And not just in my conversation, not just in the things I create, but also in how I show up. If I show up to this live looking raggedy as hell, my hair all over the place, you know what I mean? I don't got, you know what I mean? So how you show up is a direct reflection of who you're going to attract. So if I'm showing up raggedy, I'm going to get raggedy folks. You know what I mean? But it's also about your expectation and what you expect from people. That plays a huge role in that as well. But the way I found my voice is by going live. I would go live all the time. I would go live every day. I'm talking about I was going live like 2 or 3 times a day on Periscope until I developed a voice, until I develop a confidence. It's not just going to come to you. It's about repetition and doing it over and over and over. Hopefully they answered your question. I'm a cosmetologist and updating, you lose people, upgrading, you lose people. I can't afford that. So you can afford upgrading and up leveling, right? I think it's about how you communicate that change to your clients. And this is another thing. Ooh, that was such a good question. Give me 1 second. Because I'm assuming you're talking about wanting to up level in your business, but maybe some of your clients may not come along for the upgrade. Is that what you're referring to, Brandy? Just put a yes in the chat if that's what you're referring to. If so, I'm going to speak to that. So everybody can't go. Literally, I just read a whole chapter on what bro was talking about. Okay? Bro, literally, that's what he was talking about in this book. Let me reread that first part of what he said. The name of the chapter is called You Can't Go Home, right? And he said one of the biggest obstacles in choosing to change levels is the realization that you must leave some people behind. This does not mean that you break all contact with old friends and acquaintances, but it usually means that those relationships will be changed forever. So when you say I can't do that, what does that mean? Like you don't want to do that because in the fear of like losing some people? Or are you saying that because something is disabling you from being able to do that? Because it's one thing to say, I don't want to change my race, or I want to change my race, but I'm afraid of losing people. What end up happening is you're going to have to go out and be this new version so you can attract new people. Does that make sense? So let me give an example, right? And I don't, obviously, I'm commenting off of what you're commenting. So I don't have full context, right? But let's just say you want a level of clients, right? Let's just use that as an example. You want a new level of clientele, but you're like, how do I get new clientele? Because I got the existing clientele. It's like, this is one of the reasons why I love launching, right? This is why I love launching. This is why I love marketing. This is why I love messaging, because it gives you the autonomy and the freedom to be able to elevate in your messaging and your marketing, and then you will eventually, the old people will drop off and then the new people will come about, right? So what really has to happen is you're probably gonna have to do some type of marketing campaign with the elevated version of Brandy, so you can attract who you want to attract. So you might say, well, I don't have the finance to do that. When we talk about up leveling, sometimes it's not about go get a new website, go get new photos, go get new stuff. It could be you're communicating differently. It could be, let me tell my clients that, hey, your rate been the same for the past 5 years and I need to change the rates, right? And I would love to keep you as a client, but this is the new thing, right? It's all about how you present the change. It's all about how you put that out there. Let me give you an example. So yesterday we had our Q&A call for the lunch circle. And I told them last night, like, hey, we're going up to $500 a month. I'm not going to change y'all rates because y'all been here. But if you leave and come back, you're paying $500 a month. So not as a threat, not trying to scare anybody, but I let my community know, I let my clients know that a change is coming. Now that's different because I'm talking about a membership site. You're actually delivering a service. If you're going to up level the service that you're delivering as a service provider, you have to put yourself in a predicament where you let the current people know what it is and let them drop off or be cool with it. But you also have to actively go out in the market and be the latest, greatest version of yourself so you can attract the clients you want to work with. Does that make sense, Brandy? Because, like, for instance, when I was back home in Memphis, when I first started operating my business online, I was not trying to get people from Memphis to work with me at the time, because a lot of the people that I was interacting with back then thought I was crazy. Like, what do you mean you're going to go online and run a business? Like, we're brick and mortar. Like, what are you talking about? So when I was telling them about this online marketing stuff and funnels and, you know, all this stuff I was discovering online, and like, hey, you can make digital products and you can do email marketing and and everybody was like, what are you talking about? It's like, they didn't know what the hell I was talking about. Right. And I didn't hold them against that. I just created a new campaign to a group of new people who didn't know who the hell I was and demonstrated the new version of me. Does that make sense, Brandy? So it's probably, you know, if you feel like, man, I can't tell these existing people that up level is change, you know, I'm changing or whatever the case may be, then be the new version of yourself and then go out and attract the new people for the current level that you're on. I hope that's helpful, Brandy, at least with the context that you've given me. I hope that answered your question. Yeah. So hopefully that answered your question, because change is hard, right? Change is hard. And the people who's going to deal with your change and your evolution the worst are the people that want you to remain the same. And sometimes when you're changing, it's very uncomfortable, right? Sometimes it ain't going to be as easy as like, I'm going to change my race and then voila, all the new people are going to be coming in. But you know, when it gets to a point of when it's uncomfortable, when it's stressing you out, you're either going to do it or you're going to be forced into it. And I'd rather you not be forced into it. And I'd rather you just accept the fact that, like, hey, this is the changes we make and this is what's going on, so on and so forth. And if you need to build up the confidence, this is where getting coaching and, you know, getting support is one of those things. But also get into some books. Like this book, Empowering Yourself by Harvey J. Coleman, is good. You can read any of our books, like Are You Ready for the Yes, UnCloned Marketing, or UnCloned Life. You can also read Napoleon Hill book, Outwitting the Devil. Like when you start reading a lot of books, like it kind of boosts you up and it gives you the confidence you need. So when you go back out in the marketplace, you can have something that's, you know, something that you can stand on as you move forward. So hopefully that answered your question. But, you know, when I first pivoted to online, it was very hard for me to change from my Memphis environment to being online, right? And then when my husband and I moved from Memphis to Georgia, that was a change, right? We've been here for almost 7 to 8 years, and I'm just now getting to a point where I'm feeling a lot more, this place is starting to feel like home for me. And, every time I increase my rates, I'm always like, okay, I'm going to increase my rates. I'm confident in the value. And I can't overthink about like who's going to pay. If I show up like I need to, if I demonstrate my value, if I do my marketing and I operate at the highest version and with integrity, it shouldn't be no problem getting new clients. But before anybody else got to believe it, you got to believe it. And if you don't believe it, that's where the problem lies. Excuse me. Because that's when you have to start working on your fear. That's when you have to start working on like, what will people say? What if I lose clients? And that's all lack. If you come from a place of abundance and you allow yourself to start thinking positive, it could be something like, you know what? I'm going to change my rates. My best clients are going to stay. I'm going to get rid of all the headache people. And I'm going to attract so many amazing clients that I ain't going to know what to do with it. If you start to think from that place, which is a place of abundance, you can make the decision from a place of abundance, as opposed to making a decision from like, I can't afford that. That ain't going to work. That ain't going to never happen. And people are going to leave me. And then what's going to happen? And then what? And then before you know it, you done spiraled out and turned into a skipping CD, So you want to make sure that, you evolve first. You work on yourself first. You elevate yourself first. And then you move into what you need to do. So hopefully that was helpful, Brandy. Thank you all so much for your question. I appreciate you all for being here. I do have a call with a client here in a few minutes, but I really do hope this was helpful. I appreciate y'all for joining us today on the live stream. And yeah, I'm gonna see if we got any more questions. I could probably take 1 or 2 more questions. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section, and I can answer it. And if not, we go from there. All right. Thank you so much for being bold enough to ask your question, Brandy. I appreciate that. All right. All right. So do we have any more questions? Let me know if you have any questions. All right. I know the live stream be delayed sometimes, so I want to make sure that, y'all good. Also, if you haven't already subscribed on the YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do that. All right. And then make sure you also like the video. Just want you to know how great you are. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for always providing good information. You are totally welcome. And thank y'all for showing up. Like my goal is to go live every Wednesday. If not, a pre-recorded video will go up. And then sometimes on Wednesdays, I may or may not be on camera. My goal would be to be on camera. But if it means going live and showing some slides, I'm going to do that. If it means keeping my commitment to doing a video every Wednesday. So anywho, thank you all so much for tuning in to today's live stream. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That way you can stay connected. And until next time, y'all, let's go live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand. Bye, y'all.